And welcome back to Sunday Square Off. It was a series of stories inspired by President Trump's plan to build a wall across our border with Mexico. Arizona Republic journalists traveled the length of the border by land and by air to document what a wall would mean. The Republic series, titled The Wall, there was stories, interactive video, podcasts, was honored last week with the Pulitzer Prize for Journalism, the industry's highest honor. Joining us is one of the reporters on the series, Daniel Gonzalez. He's also one of the country's leading reporters on immigration. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What a huge honor. It makes me happy just to talk about it with you. I think
it's pretty exciting.
It is. I want to give full disclosure. I worked at the Arizona Republic for several years. No longer, obviously. Also, KPNX and the Republic were once co-owned by the same company. That's not the case any longer. This was a massive team effort. You're just the tip of the spear, so to speak. I counted 11 reporters at the Republic, 9 photographers and videographers, and 4 editors over the span of how long? How long?
From the time we started talking about this project till it was actually published in September was about 9 months.
9 months, huge team. You covered the breadth of the border. You covered just about every area of the issue. When was it, though, that Donald Trump's "Build the Wall" chant got the Republic thinking, hey, we got to go deeper on that?
I think the way this all started was when our editor, Nicole Carroll, went to see was at one of the Trump rallies, and she drove back with another editor, Josh Susong, and what they really came away with was how Build the Wall had become such a centerpiece of President Trump's campaign. And the Arizona Republic is known nationally for our coverage of the border and immigration. I think she came back to the newsroom and started, feeling that this was an issue that we were very well positioned to write about and that we should really own. We're close to the border. We've been writing about this for a long time. We have the expertise, and that's kind of was the genesis of it. Okay,
so that was a pretty good call, I'd say. Yeah. So for folks who want that wall built, what will they learn about the wall if they read the series, listen to it, and look at the video, because it's spectacular?
Yeah. One of the things we really wanted to show, this project is not just for people in Arizona. It's for people who live far away from the border. When President Trump campaigns in Iowa and visits Iowa and New Hampshire and other states, and he talks about building the wall, it sounds like a very simple and easy solution. You build a wall, it will stop people from getting across, it will stop drugs, and the problem will be solved. We wanted to show people who live far away from the border, who are not familiar with these issues, how incredibly vast and huge and remote and desolate the border is, and how difficult it would be, and what would be the consequences of building a wall, not just for border states here, but for commerce, for trade, for relationships between the United States and Mexico, for animals that cross back and forth between the border, for culture. There was just so many different things that a wall would affect. That's what we really wanted to help people. And also, it wasn't really, we weren't really out for an agenda. Our goal was to inform the public, and they could make conclusions on their own.
So, and I think the border is also a mystery to many people in Arizona as well, as much as we talk about it. What do you think is one of the main obstacles people don't understand that this series shows?
Well, I think one of the main obstacles it shows is it's very, very difficult to build a wall, just practically wise, because you have huge parts of the border that are mountainous, that are very far away from any kinds of roads, far away from towns. So how do you get construction crews to these areas to build a wall? How do you get cement? All the kind of practical things that go into building a construction project of this magnitude. How would you actually go about doing something like that? That's just kind of like a really basic practical problem that most people don't think about.
You also broke some news in this series. One of your stories had this powerful image, quote, "Southern Arizona resembles a sea of blood." You discovered that migrant deaths in the desert hadn't been counted for 20 years. Tell us about that. What'd you learn?
Well, there was a big investigative piece that we did this, and beyond kind of the explanatory reporting part, which is what we won the Pulitzer for. We also did an investigative piece to show every year the Border Patrol gives official counts of how many people die along the border. We wanted to go and see how accurate that counting was. So we set out to get records from every single county along the border in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California, and count those deaths for ourselves and see how they matched up with the Border Patrol numbers. And what we found was that the Border Patrol numbers are considerably undercounted. There's a lot more bodies that are actually being found that are migrants that are not being included in those official statistics. And that's not even to mention all the bodies that are not found out there, people who have actually died and haven't been discovered yet. The bodies that actually have been found are far more than the official Border Patrol accounting.
And what is the impact, the humanitarian impact of learning that?
Well, the importance, there's lots of practical solutions for that, but I mean, there's something to be said that this many people are dying along our border, and how would a border wall actually affect that, and would probably lead to an increase in numbers of people dying, because the more you fortify the border, the more you push people into more remote areas, and the more likely they are to die. Even though fewer people are actually crossing the border than in the last 40 years, the death rate is actually increased because your chances of dying now are higher because of people being pushed into these remote areas, especially in the western deserts of Arizona.
All right, Daniel Gonzalez, congratulations again. Great series.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Appreciate it.